Okay, good afternoon. George Cavaligos for HFT Bonds. I hope you caught the trade last night, or early this morning. We talked about it yesterday where, we had the powerful bullish, not powerful, decent bullish reversal trade yesterday. Looked for a retest of yesterday's highs at a minimum, and I thought we'd see a test of the old highs. Well, the bonds initially took out last week's highs at 135.01 very early this morning. I think it went up to 135.04. Notes did not take out the previous highs. Of course, I got out of my longs at that point. Market broke, came right back. Bonds made another higher high above 135.04 up to '08. And then the notes went and took out last week's highs at 126.25 plus by a tick to 26 plus. Lately new highs have been like a begging to sell them trade because the market immediately came right back off. I think it went back down to maybe 17ish in the 10-year. Bonds really never came off much. There was a big block trade today, and it looked like somebody was unwinding at some curve trades. A big seller of 5-year notes, a big seller of 10-year notes to buy bonds. 15,000 10-year notes to buy 10,000 bonds, and a seller of like 17,000 5-year notes. So those are some big trades that caused the curve to flatten at that point. And notes came off hard. Bonds really never came off, and bonds I don't think ever filled the settlement gap, whereas the notes did. They went right back down to yesterday's close at 126.16. Tough trade, got chopped up a little bit in the afternoon. I wish I would have just sat on my hands because I wasn't getting any real good signals, but I thought every time we've seen new highs lately to put a short on. I sat with it too long, ended up scratching a bunch of trades this afternoon, and even had one or two small losers after a good, overnight trade. Oh well. Moving on. I posted a couple charts in our chat room today, and if you guys had the chance to look at the pre-non-farm payroll webinar that we did, where I talked about the big rising wedge formation in the bonds and notes that broke last week on the, actually it broke before the unemployment number, and then we had some follow-through, and then the market recovered the old lows. Well, now we're forming a bear flag. I cannot recall, basically a rising wedge is a bear flag too in this case. I cannot recall an instance where a bear flag broke, met the objective, went a little bit further, came back, and then started forming another bear flag almost immediately, within a week. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and I'm a little suspicious of this bearish flag that we're forming right now. I think I'll keep looking for higher highs to maybe put some shorts on, but I'm going to be pretty quick to cover them as I'm uncomfortable with this flag after a flag thing. We'll see. The market's always right, and whether I'm uncomfortable or not doesn't matter, So we'll see. Chairman Bernanke tomorrow, what's he going to say? The last time he spoke after the history speech, the markets got all, bulled up because he said we're going to keep doing QE. Before that, he said that they were talking about tapering. So I think if we're going, back and forth here, tomorrow should be leaning towards a taper day again, and I guess that will be negative for the bonds. Watch the parameters of the bear flag that we're forming right now on the market. If you look at like an hourly chart, you can see the channel that we started forming in the last 4 or 5 days again. Trade that if we break out of it. I think that'll be an interesting scenario. That's all I really am leaning on right now. I don't have a good handle on any kind of decent wave count right now. I think we're in some kind of corrective pattern. I would like to see some more time in this corrective pattern. I don't think it's done yet. So more chop, sideways to higher, and on new highs, try some shorts. Those are my best trade ideas right now, and I don't have great confidence in that, so keep the position small right now. I think that's probably my best advice. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning in the morning email and in the chat room, guys. Have a great night.